It's an issue that split the New South Wales Labor Party and cost one Premier his job. But today, the New South Wales Government announced a midnight deal worth more than $5 billion to sell off the state's electricity assets. Board members on both state-owned electricity companies resigned en masse rather than back the privatisation deal, which has been criticised by the state opposition as a fire sale that will shortchange taxpayers. It comes at a critical time for the national power grid. According to a report released today, up to $130 billion will need to be spent to meet future demand for electricity. Deborah Cornwall reports.
It's a mad scramble for a few $billion. It's really a despicable thing to do to the people of New South Wales, and you know, there is no turning things back for this government.
The only explanation that you can come up with is that they are desperate for a war chest to go to the election with in March. And in essence, you could suggest that they're actually asking the taxpayers to fund the re-election of a Labor government through this sale.
Mr. Speaker.
For a government already in its final death roll, selling off the crown jewels just 3 months from an election was always going to be a hard sell.
You've had 8 board members, Treasurer. You've had 8 board members walk out.
Under the sale, 3 government-owned electricity retailers have been sold to Origin Energy and the Hong Kong company True Energy, both of them to be serviced by state-owned power generators, Delta Electricity and Eraring Energy.
This is a great result which makes our state's financial position stronger, further secures New South Wales' AAA credit rating and creates a stronger and competitive retail electricity market.
The State Treasurer's confidence today seemed wildly at odds with the desperate scrambling overnight to keep the deal afloat. Board members on the power generators regarded the sale as so diabolical there was a mass defection of directors. But the government then stacked the boards with Labor friendlies, including a former minister and 2 senior public servants who'd been on the government's privatisation team, and pushed the deal through this morning.
You can see that this is a really bad look, and at the 11th hour these board directors just having a lack of confidence with you to such an extent that they walk out. This has taken the gloss off your sale.
This is not about gloss. This is about ensuring that the taxpayers of New South Wales will not have to front up the cost of building future power stations. We've achieved that.
Union boss Tony Ma was just one of the defecting directors who regarded the deal as such a squandering of state assets, he simply would not be party to it.
They've pushed it through in the middle of the night. It's a done deal. I think there will be many questions asked after the election, and you know, I'll be able to sleep at night, but I don't think others will.
Last night, under the cloak of darkness, at midnight, a deal was done that put aside corporate governance, put aside independent directors, put aside former premiers, treasurers, former Labor ministers that stood up and said this deal was a dud.
It is basically a privatisation of last resort. When you can't get any other privatisation models up, this is the one you go for.
The Keneally government's determination to ram through electricity privatisation in its last days of government is especially ironic, given that it's been singly the most damaging issue for New South Wales Labor in its 15 years of office.
The timing is right, and the timing, for a host of reasons, is crucial.
Premier Bob Carr had been at the height of his powers when he pushed for privatisation back in 1997, but failed.
The real question is not whether the industry is sold, rather it's a question of who sells it, under what conditions and when.
When the freshly elected Premier, Morris Iemma, finally tried again 2 years ago, the sale price had halved to around $15 billion.
Is there's dishonesty after dishonesty in this debate, dishonesty after dishonesty.
And when it went to a vote at the state party conference, all hell broke loose.
Just like families paying a mortgage, the state has a credit limit.
Order. The
The Premier pushed into a humiliating backdown, which would ultimately force him to resign, marking the beginning of the end for Labor in New South Wales.
The issue of power privatisation is one that has torn the heart out of the New South Wales Labor Party. It's haunted them for the best part of 15 years in government. Now with this fire sale, it's likely to haunt them for a long time in opposition as well.
The Owen report, which was produced 2.5 years ago, clearly outlined the risks for the people of New South Wales if we didn't step in and activate energy reform in this state. There's no doubt about that. We have achieved the objectives of protecting the taxpayers of this state and getting very good value for the assets that have been transacted last night. Very good value, well above retention value.
This is the worst possible time to sell any energy assets. The whole concept is really the bastard child option. It's one that nobody wanted. You either privatise properly or you retain government ownership. Nobody was happy with this.
The opposition, already poised for electoral victory, has promised to pursue today's sale with a judicial inquiry if voted into government in March.
Well, today is a day of shame for New South Wales from a government that has absolutely no shame. In true Labor fashion, whatever it takes took place last night, and it was very much against the interests of the people of New South Wales.
Deborah Cornwall with that report.